This month we welcome Toby Roberts, who is the president and COO of Happy Finish. Toby, my first question to you, explain what Happy Finish is and where are you located? How many people do you have?
Yeah, thank you, Stan. Great to be here. So Happy Finish is a content production company based in London with offices in Portland, Oregon, where I'm based, as well as production facilities in Verona, Italy. We help the advertising industry as well as brands and their design companies create compelling visualization solutions for various different marketing, design, and technology initiatives. We're around 50 people worldwide at the moment, although that rapidly flexes and moves depending on the projects that we're engaged with at any one time.
Great. Can you tell us something about the founding story of Happy Finish?
Yeah, absolutely. So Happy Finish was founded quite a long time ago. We're a little long in the tooth for a traditional startup, having pivoted several times and added new services over the years. We started off as a representation agency for post-production artists in the early 2000s, recognizing that at the time, visual post-production technology was really defining what creative looked like for the advertising and marketing industry, in addition to more traditional creators such as photographers and film directors who were really the superstars previously. And we set up as a representation agency to gather the best minds that London had to offer at that time to those markets to really provide those as a service that was not well represented in and of itself. Now, over the years, Happy Finish gathered enough clients and notoriety as a purveyor of high quality content production services that brands were coming to us directly. And so we added in the full service suite of production capabilities that were required to support those brand initiatives. That over time then led to a resurgence of 3D, and we pivoted hard into the use of 3D in advertising content for animations, for product visualizations over the years. And then we found that with the rise of digital agencies in the kind of mid 2000s, that a lot of the 3D content we were producing was becoming used in digital experiences directly, as opposed to more traditional out of home or below the line and above the line advertising. And so we began to support those initiatives as well, starting in around 2012. And since then, we've really developed what I would consider three different product verticals that are complementary, but also quite distinct depending on our client types. The first being straight marketing content production services that support major brands and advertisers. It's our bread and butter, where we started, what we were founded to help solve. But what we found is that that's now very integrated within most brands with product visualization and product design because of the tighter times to market that are expected for new products. And that was really accelerated during the pandemic as well, with a scarcity of physical samples that were available for product lines to be developed and then moved to the consumer. And then the final area of those three verticals is immersive experience design, which is complementary to both of those content-centric production capabilities that we have, which is the ability to leverage new technologies to specifically tell stories in new and innovative ways that are visually derived. And so those are kind of the three areas that Happy Finish has built up a capability on over the years that we've been really excited to have today as what we offer the market.
That's fantastic. Can you give some examples for each area that come to mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think some of our proudest moments recently have been supporting brands like Mattel with their virtual collectibles lines. We work with Hot Wheels to produce a whole range of digital twins of their physical castings for Hot Wheels products that lead their way into digital product lines that are sold to consumers as a digital collectible through Mattel Creations website. This involves a lot of animation, a lot of marketing collateral content. And what's really interesting here is that there was an experimentation that was done with this content, but where Happy Finish was able to add value is in scaling that, creating consistency over time and building in new technologies that can allow that to happen in an efficient production workflow. For us, that was introducing new technologies to that pipeline, such as Unreal Engine, to allow that technology to be scalable and also to create kind of a hub of archival content that could potentially be pivoted into new future use cases that had not yet been defined, and to create that opportunity for scale and future pivoting through prudent use of technology that existed today. At its core, what Happy Finish is good at And what we love to do is to be brought in to answer questions of what if we could do this, and then reverse engineer from that what if a solution that is potentially production viable today, and then developing that into something that approximates that what if in the future, but with that kind of trajectory and that vector dialed in from the start. So we've been really excited to explore post-pandemic a lot of the kind of burgeoning space that has opened up for those kind of solutions because of the disruption that has happened to traditional ways of working since that has occurred. And digital visual content and its importance in either an e-commerce workflow or in a design process has really come to a fore as a result of that.
Well, asking what if questions is, of course, at the heart of a company that has innovation at the center, right? Um, and
Absolutely.
one of the things in innovation these days are all the discussions about the use of AI. Right? I assume that in your company there have been many discussions around that as well. How are you using AI today, and how do you see it develop in the next few years?
Yeah, that's a great question. And absolutely, AI is everywhere in every conversation that we have. If I go back a little bit, Happy Finish has been involved in experimental projects, proof of concept projects, and innovation projects for a very long time. Our first AI project actually occurred in 2017 using generative adversarial networks for a number of marketing and PR campaigns with Dove in the UK. Specifically, we did a AI-generated avatar that brought together a perception of what motherhood looks like in the media and created a brand ambassador that was the amalgamation through an AI process of what that mother might look like, which ended up looking quite pressuring and for a mother, which is the insight that we were looking for to open up a new debate about authenticity within the marketplace for care products for young mothers, and to move away from the media perception of them. So we've been doing that for quite a long time, working in visual generation of people, working in optimizations of workflows around generative AI. What's been really interesting in the last couple of years is the widespread adoption of those tools as part of the baseline bedrock of a lot of established tool sets that visual artists use, Photoshop, Autodesk products. AI is now baked in. Where we are using it today is as a force multiplier. It helps us do small, iterative tasks where we are trying to find the core of what is visually impactful quickly, effectively, and essentially to kill bad ideas before they cost us or our clients a lot of money. So if we can iterate by creating mood boards and style references for a creative document to inform a full production faster, then that is a win for us. And so on a very practical level, we're using AI today as a way to inform early stage decision making and creative developments for a wide variety of tasks to gain marginal gains in production that we can pass on as cost savings and time savings for our productions.
Well, it sounds like you're taking what we will call a constructive disruption approach to AI, and a positive but careful path ahead. So
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. One last question, Toby, that I want to ask. You're an executive at a not so young startup, but still it's startup spirit, right? Highly innovative.
Absolutely.
You use some words like pivots and things like that. I assume you have learned a lot over the last few years in a very dynamic space. For people who are starting their entrepreneurial career, what advice do you have for them based on your deep experience of how to engage in a highly dynamic area?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and my experience here comes from the service side, being a vendor to larger brands, to agencies, to design studios. Um, on the service side of innovation, I think the advice that I would give is never be fully satisfied with the end result, but do so in a constructive way that allow you to learn what worked and what didn't, and pursue that whenever possible. But at the same time, listen out for the subtle signals that your clients will give you about the real problem they're trying to solve, as opposed to the somewhat tactical instruction they might be giving you at that time. If you can create an environment of trust and innovation with your clients, with your partners, where that subtext is made known, and you can bring technological solutions that might not be fully developed or they might not be aware of, and you can be a playmaker. You create a huge amount of value, both for yourself as a vendor, but also for that brand in exploring areas that they wouldn't have otherwise had either the speed or necessarily the knowledge of the bleeding edge of what's possible to execute on and explore more fully. So I think if I can sum that down to be a playmaker and actively listen with a focus on being solution oriented.
Well, Toby, those are wise words to live by. Be solution oriented, and be a playmaker. So, thank you so much for this very engaging discussion, and I wish you all the best in this great, interesting world of visual graphics and production. And we hope to see you back sometime soon.
Thank you, Stan. A pleasure being here. Thank you.